So I'm not a fan of Trump or that bloody tampon Hillary. I can I literally cannot really get into a conversation with anybody about the Clintons and about Hillary because A, if somebody's going to be dumb enough to try to defend her or stick up for her, then I simply just want to make them swallow their teeth. Maybe rip out their brain and shove it up their ass because clearly that's where it belongs. You know, back in the day when I was in the military, I used to think that I had my head square on my shoulders and that I was more awake and more aware than most that were under me. I had no damn idea our government was as corrupt and fucked up as it truly is. I had no idea. Man, do I feel like a dumbass. So this is what we're left with. This is what we got. So what the hell do you think's going to happen? There's no good outcome on either side of the coin. Either side of the coin, there's going to be chaos and anarchy. It's unavoidable. The reason it's unavoidable, and it's baffling, by the way, these are the two candidates we have for presidency. Now, there's groups on both sides that will absolutely lose their shit if either one of them is put into the White House. And let's face it, those that oppose Trump have been very busy being bussed around causing chaos. And it's just going to get worse. Now we could sit here and, we could lock our doors, hide inside, pretend outside it's raining Skittles, and everything's great. That's not the way life is. It's not how it works. We've got enough going on our own soil, the United States. That is absolute chaos. I mean, when in our nation's history have we allowed our Constitution to be under attack? When have we allowed our Bill of Rights to be under attack? The Declaration of Independence, the very rights as United States citizens to be under attack from within. We've opened our borders. Well, when I say we, I'm talking about that dumbass in the White House. We've opened our borders to those that want to kill us. It's truly amazing at the excuses people give. It's baffling at how people will lie to themselves about what's really going on. Or you have the other side that simply don't give a shit. They don't care. Because it doesn't affect their lives directly, so they say. Then there's, we got groups of people that are saying, well, if blah, blah, blah is president, I'm leaving the country. I'm moving. Get the fuck out. Don't need you, don't want you. The bottom line is you have to have ethics. You have to have principles. You have to have a form of valor, of honor. I can't imagine going through life without some form of beliefs or being such a chicken shit that you cower in those moments when you should be the one standing up. We used to be a nation that believed in the right of freedom of speech and being able to live your life your way. It's gone. People are afraid. They're afraid to say the truth. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. Throat's all fucked up. So people are afraid to stand up and speak their minds. They're afraid when they see some bullshit going on in the street. They are afraid to do what's right, to do the right thing. Why? Have we become such a fucking couch potato nation that this is the best we have to give? That the future generation we're going to leave for our children is going to be communism, dictatorship, and fear? When did it become the norm to bury your head in the sand? When did it become acceptable to watch hate take over? When did patriotism become not corrupt? What am I trying to say? Patriotism has become, well, it's kind of a dying breed, but it's also becoming, in the sheep's eyes, the anti-American. Domestic terrorism. They're putting, when I say they're, I'm talking about Hollywood. They're putting in movies and they're putting in TV shows and shit. They're portraying the American patriot and American veterans as fucking lunatics. So that the sheep are like, oh my God. That's ridiculous. But we tolerate it. Don't get it. Why do we tolerate everything that we tolerate in this nation? This politically correct bullshit. It's ridiculous. We have to dig deep and we have to figure out who we are as a people, as a nation. We've got to find our grit, our backbone. We have to become Americans again. You know how sick and tired I am of watching the world around me, watching people. They look away, or they lower their head in shame. They're chicken shits. It doesn't make sense. Our past generations would never have tolerated this. Holy crap. No. Hell, my grandpa's generation. They would have met these idiots in the streets and busted them in the damn mouths until they were on the ground. That's it. Game over. They wouldn't tolerate this shit. One has such blatant bullshit been acceptable? I'm talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about the anti-Trump protests. I mean, look, if we're really going to hit the nail on the head, look at what happened in Ferguson and Boston and all these other places where we've had these riots break out. Police didn't do shit. They gave them room to burn and steal. That's what they did. Then you have some white guys go to a refuge in Oregon peacefully protesting, and they shoot a motherfucker. And then they issue 86 arrest warrants. And then they keep them in solitary confinement. How's that acceptable? How can you allow one group of people to pillage and burn, cause violence and chaos, and it's acceptable? You allow it. But when somebody's speaking the truth and making a stand against the corruption within the government, that's when you cap a motherfucker and then you silence the rest of them in solitary confinement. It doesn't make sense to me how that's acceptable. It doesn't make sense how this is how far we've fallen. Now, I'm going to play some music. And when I come back, we're also going to dig into this whole transgender bullshit. And let me tell you, that truly makes me feel like a fucking Jekyll and Hyde.
We're getting ready to go on stage, literally right now.
I need that lead-in video from you guys. You've been promising it to us forever, and it's just not happening. And we're holding up production here.
I'm not sure anymore, man. It's never enough. No pun intended. Do we have to be in the video?
Well, yeah, you have to be in the video.
What about that?
Really?
Don't they remember the conversation? I think you were there when we told them that we just simply don't do videos anymore.
You don't want to be standing on the top of the mountain and play guitar.
I don't know. I just want to break shit, honestly. Past that, I don't care.
Preferably dressed looking like Five-Finger Death Punch.
And wear some fucking pajamas.
Just basically blow it on purpose.
Fucking knit a sweater, perhaps.
And just make it as stupid as we can.
Knitting a baby sock would be awesome. A little tiny baby sock.
How did we get a baby sock?
You guys got to come up with something that is going to make sense.
I think that we're going to do the same thing we've always done, and that is avoid pain and seek pleasure. So I like Jeremy's idea where we just sit around and bust a bunch of shit up. Is that possible? Are you filming this?
Just be segments of us beating the shit out of stuff.
Getting there with a chainsaw.
I say we dress as dumb as humanly possible.
Yeah.
What does that mean, though?
Well, it's a good start, isn't it?
There's just so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm only getting colder. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's just so much goddamn weight on my shoulders. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm only getting colder. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's a demon inside. Just like Jekyll and Hyde. All this anger inside. I feel like Jekyll and Hyde. Is there so much goddamn weight on your shoulders that you can't just live your motherfucking life? The story's getting old and my heart is getting colder. I just wanna be Jekyll, but I'm always fighting Hyde. You got right.